Hello everyone and welcome to another Coach TGS video. You know, I never get tired of doing these videos week after week after week because it makes me really feel good about sharing some, nugget of wisdom to all of you, and hopefully if it makes your day, you have made mine. So now I'm going to share with you something about God's wisdom. Okay, don't panic. I'm not a spiritual speaker. I don't claim to be one. I mean, I leave it with my friends who are really, really active in church and really doing, all these retreats. That's really not my forte because Coach TJS has always been in the corporate scene. But when I read this story and I realized its lesson, I said, I have to share it with you guys. Okay, are you ready for it? Okay. So there was a farmer. Parang mahilig ako sa farmer. Marami akong videos about the farmer. Okay, so there was a farmer and he had the pumpkin farm. Parang wala tayo sa Philippines yata niyan. I'm not sure. Pumpkin, meron tayo squash, di ba? Pero di ba sa States, pumpkin farm, di ba? That's what they use for the jack-o'-lanterns. So if you know what a pumpkin farm looks like, you would see the big, heavy pumpkins. And then their vines are very thin. Yung tangkay nila, ang liliit. That's why they grow on the ground, right? And then they have small vines attached to them. This farmer was leaning under, under the trunk. He was under the mango tree, leaning against its trunk. Kasi papahinga siya kasi medyo after, the sun was hot. And he was looking at the pumpkin, his pumpkin farm. And he said, tingnan mo tong si God. Why would you put tiny vines? Tapos ang laki-laki nung pumpkin. Why would you put very weak vines and make them, and attach them to huge, heavy pumpkins? And then he looked up. Look at this tree. A very big and lofty tree has very small mangoes. Very small mangoes. The tree can actually take so many thousands of mangoes and, it wouldn't feel its weight. Di ba dapat baliktad? Isn't it supposed to be the other way around? And then, suddenly there was a gust of wind. And one mango, boink, dropped on his head. And then he had an epiphany. He said, oh my God. If that was a pumpkin that fell on my head, I wouldn't be alive anymore. This farmer questioned God's wisdom. Why did he design the farm that way, the pumpkin patch that way? Why did he design the mango tree that way? Why did God design us this way? Sometimes, and I like to talk to the young people. Sometimes we question, why is our hair not perfect? Why do I not have white skin? Why do I not have the, syempre K-pop, right? Tak-tak to Korean eyes and the perfect flawless skin. Why am I not, thin and like Miss Universe and Binibining Pilipinas, etc., etc. I'm going to ask you, this is a fun question. What if God said, okay, I'm going to give you 3 eyes. Where would you put the 3rd eye? Would you put it here? Would you put it here? Would you put it at the back of your head so that you can see who's behind you? We would look like aliens. God has designed us in perfect symmetry. Eyes, nose in the middle, your limbs, 2 legs for balance, perfect symmetry. Sure, we look different, but that's the point. Can you imagine if we all look the same? If we all look like Catriona Gray, do you think Catriona Gray would still be Miss Universe? No. Do you think Mark Zuckerberg, if all of us were Mark Zuckerbergs, do you think Facebook would still be a big hit, a huge hit? No, because all of us would have created Facebook, and so there would be no need for that invention. Do you get my point, dear subscribers? We are here for a purpose. We were designed to live out that purpose, and that is my challenge to all of you. Find that purpose. Why are you here in this earth? What are you supposed to do? What are the talents that you have to hone? The skills. Well, what are the things that you have to learn? It's so exciting. The world is so exciting. There's an expression that says the world is your oyster, right? Which means, bakit ba the world is your oyster? Because an oyster, diba, at the bottom of the ocean, their shells are closed, and when they want to eat, they open and they close and they open, and that's what we're saying. The world is something. It's up to you if you open up like that oyster and gather and get what you can, or are you gonna remain close, or are you gonna, open just a little bit? We were designed for a purpose. There is a reason why we are here. This is Coach TGS telling you, find your purpose.